When most people think of fishing, they think of it as just a boring activity. But fishing is more than just that. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, fishing is a $208 billion industry. Now you might be thinking, why is it such a big industry when not a whole lot of people do it? Well, there's a lot of other things under the fishing category. There's commercial fishing, fishing for sport, and recreational fishing. The biggest part under the fishing category is commercial fishing. Many people don't realize that most of the fish or seafood that is sold at the store or served at a restaurant comes from commercial fishing. According to PR Newswire, fishing worldwide will reach $438.59 billion by 2026. Commercial fishing is the biggest category under fishing, but it isn't very efficient. According to Oceana.org, commercial fishing produces 160 billion pounds of fish a year, but sadly, most of the fish they catch are discarded because they're bycatch, meaning that they were trying to target one species and they caught other ones and they couldn't use the other ones, so they just had to then throw them out. Commercial fishing also has more than one negative. It isn't the best for the environment. It leads to overfishing and sadly habitat destruction. Now that we have covered commercial fishing, let's now talk about sports fishing. According to ASA Fishing, there are 60 million sports fishermen in the United States alone. For these fishermen, there are roughly 30 to 50,000 fishing tournaments and derbies a year. Some of these tournaments are the Bassmaster Classic, the Hook Bassmaster Elite, and the Lake Havasu City Striper Derby. There are a few major differences that make sports fishing its own category. It is only done with a rod and reel, and you must only use artificial baits, which means they must be manufactured and bought at a store. You can't use live worms or other live fish to catch other fish. Another main part of being a sports fisherman is that you have to catch and release every fish that you catch in the tournament that you are in. You can't keep the fish and then later eat them, or you can't keep the fish and then keep mounted on your wall as a trophy. You must catch and release every single fish so then other anglers in the tournament could then later catch it. Our final category is to talk about recreational fishing. Recreational fishing is a fun, laid-back activity or hobby for people to do. It is mainly done at ponds, lakes, rivers, and or creeks. According to the Department of Natural Resources of Illinois, you must have a fishing license in order to participate if you are of age 16 or older. If you are younger, you don't require them. But if you are also over 65, they do have discounts on the certain fishing license. The fishing license only costs roughly $15 for 16 up to 64. But once you turn 65, that price then decreases to half. Also, overall, you don't need much gear to start fishing. Most people think that fishing is an expensive hobby, which it can be if you are very passionate about it and or if you fish for sports fishing. But if you're a recreational fisherman, all you need is about $20 to $30 to go and start fishing. You can go to your local Walmart or your local sporting goods store and buy a cheap fishing reel and fishing rod that is all set up already for you and a few lures. To sum things up, fishing can be done in multiple ways. There's commercial fishing, sports fishing, and recreational fishing. When most people hear the word fishing, they probably think of it as a boring hobby. But now you know that there's more to fishing. Finally, fishing has been around since the 15th century. It started off by people catching their own food and has now evolved in what we have today: commercial fishing, sports fishing, and recreational fishing.